Will Arteta stop this Mourinho experiment? Has Zinchenko played his way into the midfield? And will Martinelli start? This is your match preview, guys. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Welcome back to the channel, people. Make sure you're clicking on that like button, clicking on the subscribe, keeping it here for all of your Arsenal news. Love to have you here, and keep your comments coming, people, as well. This is your match review for Arsenal versus Chelsea. And the context is real, people. This is a really, really tough game. A massive London derby, as we know. But it's in the context of the league. I mean, we know that the league's done. You know, Liverpool are obviously miles ahead. So that horse is bolted. But yeah, we're sitting second, 55 points. Chelsea sitting fourth at 49 points. Both level on games. And as we know, there's the upcoming international break. So believe it or not, and I was shocked at reading this, and this shows how bad the season is at the moment, people. So on Sunday, it's the 16th of March. That's our last game this month. Our next game is the 1st of April against Fulham. Wow. Just because we're out of everything, and as I say, the international break as well, admittedly. But yeah, it's just mad. And I hate the international breaks, man. They're so boring without the football. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, it's just not the same. I just haven't got the same interest really at the moment with England. That being said, big up to Lewis Skelly. Fantastic that he's in the England squad today. Thomas Tuchel's first squad announcement. And yeah, he's in there. Absolutely amazing. What a fucking season for the bloke. He's just done amazingly. He really has taken his chance. I mean, who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it at the start of the season? But fair play to him. He's absolutely brilliant. Love his personality. Yeah, fantastic job. And I'm sure Wanyeri will soon be following him. But yeah, looking at the game on Sunday then. So the form, like I said, we're both in indifferent form, for want of a better word. So yeah, we were looking at. I was just looking at some of the stats today. So the last 6 games, in terms of the form guide, we've won 3, we've drawn 2, and we've lost 1. Chelsea have won 3 and they've lost 3. Interestingly, we've both got the same amount of goals over that period, but admittedly, of course, we know that we haven't scored in the last 3 games, so that's our biggest issue. But as always, you know, our defence, they're great. They've only conceded 3, whereas Chelsea have conceded 9. So that's you can see where their problems lie. And in terms of the head-to-head, people, I mean, there was a few years back when I think we always seem to struggle in these games against Chelsea. But I mean, the last 6 games, we're unbeaten against them. We drew at Stamford Bridge last year, but earlier this season. And yeah, last season we obliterated them at home 5-0. So yeah, we've had much success really with them recently. So hopefully we can continue that obviously through to Sunday's match. But it will be interesting from a team news perspective. So I don't believe there's any new injuries as it stands. But of course, Sterling, being a Chelsea player, will not be available to play. So, and has Zinchenko played his way into Arteta's thinking in terms of the performance midweek? Because let's face it, we're pretty much lacking in creativity in midfield. And that's one thing you can kind of say about Zinchenko is, you know, he does get on the ball, he's calm, he's controlled. We all know that, you know, he's got defensive frailties, so I don't suggest for 1 minute that he'll be thinking about putting him in at left back or anything. But I'm just wondering, people, would it be worth giving him a go in midfield instead of the likes of Rice or Ødegaard? I'm not, again, suggesting that we drop any of those, although actually Ødegaard, well, let's face it, he's been shit recently, so I wouldn't be against dropping him. But I wouldn't drop Rice, but I'm just thinking perhaps you could reshuffle it, you know, just putting it out there. Let me know what you think in the comments, people. It's just an interesting one. And in terms of Mourinho, what can I say? I'm losing out of words and comments that I can say about this. I mean, And before people get on to me for Marino bashing, and I know that he's not a striker, but that is precisely one of my points. Why he's being flogged up there, I do not know. The bloke's clueless, can't play the position. I really, really don't see the point. And I also just can't see why Arteta also cannot see this, when it would appear that most of us and most of the footballing world can see this. But yeah, he still continues to persist with this absolute fucking nonsense, as far as I'm concerned. And I fully expect that that will be the case on Sunday as well. We'll see Marino up there again. But of course, Martinelli is now back. He got on midweek for a 10-minute cameo, and of course he came on last week against Man United. So it'd be interesting to see if he gets to start this weekend. Personally, I think he needs to start. You know, we're a man down, obviously, with Sterling already in that you know, already threadbare front three. So I really don't think we've got much of an option. And personally, if it was me, I'd be putting him up front. You know, I remember when he burst onto the scene, and he had a few games. I remember playing Liverpool at Anfield, and he was quality at that front position. And let's face it, it's a cast iron guarantee that he will be better than Marino. We know this. We know this, people. So why? It's just fucking obvious. But anyway, so hopefully, yeah, I'm sure he will start him. But you know, let's face it. Let's bring it back down to earth, people. We know he's not going to play him up front. He'll play him on the wing. Because, you know, he's just predictable, and that's just what Arteta does. God forbid we could change this up a bit, try something new, do something different, you know. It's just, yeah. So I fully expect Martinelli to play, but of course, I fully also expect Trossard to play. And I'm starting to really lose my fucking patience with him, to be honest, because, I mean, what does this guy offer, man? What does he offer? Please tell me in the comments. You know, I mean, I know that when we were pushing for the title last season, you know, he's come up with some important goals. It comes off the bench. And I don't mind him coming off the bench, don't get me wrong. But I hate the fact that we have to start him. Because the guy, I mean, very rarely does he have a game where you're thinking, yeah, he can take on his man, he can beat him at his, you know, it's just nothing. And it's even worse, I think, when he's up front, you know. I know that he continues to play him in what he would call like a false nine position, but he's fucking worse in a false nine position. I just don't know what he fucking offers. I really don't know what he offers. But again, if you can enlighten me, people, feel free to comment, get in touch, let me know, and we'll discuss that. So yeah, I fully expect, as I say, it'll be Marino, Trossard, Martinelli up front. And in all fairness, I fully expect the rest of the squad to basically pick itself. I think White will probably drop back down to the bench, which, to be fair, I understand. I was calling for him to play, and listen, if he's fully fit, I definitely want him to play. But of course, we saw in midweek that he's still, you know, understandably, he's rusty. He hasn't played that much football, so you know, we may as well just ease him back. Again, we're blessed, aren't we, with a number of different defenders that can play a number of different positions. So what's the point? What's the point? We might as well just leave it as it is. But yeah, let me know what your lineup would be. But yeah, that's how I see it going, really. Defence picks itself. Midfield picks itself. And unfortunately, the fucking attack picks itself as well. But we'll see. Predictions. So I'm pretty confident. I really do think we'll win, and I think we'll win 2-0. But my God, it's really important. You know, I know that I've heard some people say that, you know, we're safe, we're second in the league, we're not going to drop out of what will be the top 5 this year. And whilst I think it probably is the case, but looking at the league table today, like I said, we're on 55 points. Chelsea are on 49. So, you know, that brings them well closer to us if they do happen to beat us. And it just it just really puts us in danger, and we don't want to be in that position as well going into an international break, where we're not going to have another game until April anyway. I don't know when the other teams are playing, but and if you look at sixth position, which is obviously where the challenge will be. I mean, that's Newcastle at the moment. Well, Newcastle are level on points with Man City, and to be fair, you'd say with both of them, they've clearly got more firepower than us. And that is above everything else what I worry about, to be honest. It's more a case of we haven't got the firepower to propel us forward. And that's what just concerns me, is that we'll continue just to either lose games or draw games. Albeit, I know we definitely scored a lot of goals, obviously, against PSV, but that was an anomaly, people. I mean, we've seen the level of PSV versus the level of the Premier League, and it's just kind of night and day, really. So I fully expect the same difficulties on Sunday, but I'm just hoping that we come through it, and like I said, we haven't got a game for a while, and certain players definitely owe us a performance. I mean, Trossard, as I've just mentioned before, he really does need to put in a performance, because he has been really lacking over the last month or so, and unfortunately, he's on paper, he's one of our better players. He's certainly one of the more experienced guys, so he needs to really step up and start putting in performances, people. But yeah, there we have it. Let me know your predictions as well. Keen to know that, and as always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.